पहले तो एक्सपेरिमेंट चल रहे थे, फिर कल तो मेरे माइग्रेन से बैंड बजी हुई थी तो मैं सोई पड़ी थी, कुंभकर्ण बनी हुई थी मैं।
उद्धव
तो
प्रभु कोई बात नहीं, तो अपना ध्यान रख और खाली दिमाग पे ज्यादा जोर मत दिया कर, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर तू क्लास में नहीं आती है तो हमारे ना वो मिस हो जाते हैं, क्या कहते हैं उसे, नोट्स।
नहीं प्रभु जी, आप मेरे को रिकॉर्डिंग शेयर कर देना, मैं नोट्स पूरे बना दूंगी, अप टू डेट कर दूंगी।
चलो ठीक है।
एक्चुअली आप मेरे को वो पूरी प्लेलिस्ट की वो लिंक भेज सकते हो इंस्टेड ऑफ इंडिविजुअल, ताकि मुझे ऑर्डर का समझ आ जाएगा।
हाँ वो मैं तेरे को भेज दूंगा।
हाँ जी, थैंक यू।
हमें बड़ा अच्छा लगा उद्धव
प्रभु जी
प्रभु
दोनों
हमारे बीच में
प्रणाम।
आज। दोनों प्रणाम। उद्धव प्रभु कौन है?
प्रभु जी दिस इज खुशी, वो मैंने अपने बेटे के नाम से लॉग इन कर दिया था गलती से आज।
हाँ अच्छा 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 अच्छा, कितना प्यारा नाम है उद्धव। अच्छा, आपकी हाउस जो हेल्थ माता जी?
इट्स बेटर प्रभु जी, इट्स बेटर नाउ।
ठीक है, बेटर है। चलो बहुत बढ़िया। Okay, so we are going to start. So we need to be very proactive, because you know अगर 5 मिनट ऐसे खराब कर देंगे तो you know we end up in wasting a lot of time. तो हमारा टाइम होता ही नहीं है हमारे पास। अच्छा गौरव, you get out of the room please, बेटा please. हाँ, we'll talk later. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगलिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु भवेयं च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञान कर्माणुनावृतम् अनुकूलेन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्ति उत्तमा। वैष्णव सामस्तं मुखा। ऐसा है। चलो तुमको एक नया भजन सुनाता हूँ, बहुत अच्छा सा। कृष्ण का बर्थडे चल रहा है ना, तो कुछ ऐसे गाते हैं भजन जो कृष्ण भगवान का भजन। चलो This is one of my very, very, very favorite song, and it has very beautiful names of Krishna. And the most beautiful thing about this song is that this is the Mangla Arati of Vrindavan. In the entire world, means in the entire ISKCON, सिर्फ 2 ISKCON मंदिर है. एक तो वृंदावन ISKCON टेम्पल और एक कौन सा है, भुवनेश्वर टेम्पल, जहाँ पे ये आरती गाई जाती है मॉर्निंग में. ठीक है. आई थिंक आप लोगों को भी, मे भी कितने लोगों ने वृंदावन आए हैं कभी कभी, किसी ने मंगला आरती शायद अटेंड नहीं भी कर रही हो. तो लेट्स प्रे टू द लॉर्ड विद वेरी ब्यूटीफुल नेम्स. और इसी को हम लोग कंटिन्यू करेंगे 3 या 4 क्लासेस में, ताकि आप लोगों को ये याद हो जाए. And I really want you to memorize it by heart. It's a very beautiful prayer. Vibhavri Shesha Alok Pravisha Nidra Chari Uth Jiva Vibhavri Shesha आलोक प्रवेश निद्राचारी उठ जीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण ग्रीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण ग्रीवा नरसिंह वामन श्री मधुसूदन व्रजेंद्र नंदन श्यामा नरसिंह वामन श्री मधुसूदन व्रजेंद्र नंदन श्यामा पूतन घातन कैटभ शातन जय दशा रथि रामा पूतन घातन कैटभ शातन जय दशरथि रामा यशोदा दूलन गोविंद गोपाल वृंदावन पुरंदर यशोदा दूलन गोविंद गोपाल वृंदावन पुरंदर गोपी प्रिया जन राधिका रमन भुवन सुंदर बोरो गोपी प्रिया जन राधिका रमन भुवन सुंदर बोरो रावण अंत कर माखन तस्कर गोपी जना वस्त्रहारी रावण अंत कर माखन तस्कर गोपी जना वस्त्रहारी ब्रज राखन गोप वृंदावन चित हरि वंशीधारी ब्रज राखन गोप वृंदावन चित हरि वंशीधारी योगेंद्र वंदन श्री नंद नंदन ब्रज जन भयहारी बंधन श्री नंदनंदन
व्रज
हरि नवीन नीरद रूप मनोहर मोहन बंशी बिहारी नवीन नीरद रूप मनोहर मोहन बंशी बिहारी यशोदानंदन कंस निसूदन निकुंज रास विलासी यशोदानंदन कंस निसूदन निकुंज रास विलासी कदम्ब कानन रास परायण वृंदा विपिन निवासी कदम्ब कानन रास परायण वृंदा विपिन निवासी आनंद वर्धन प्रेम निकेतन सुरशर जोजक कामा
आनंद
वर्धन प्रेम निकेतन
फूल सरा जोजक
कामा गोपंगनागन चित्त विनोदन समस्त गुण गणधामा
गोपंगना
आगन चित्त विनोदन समस्त गुण गणधामा यमुना जीवन केली परायण मानस चंद्र चकोरा यमुना जीवन केली परायण मानस चंद्र चकोरा नाम सुधारस गाओ कृष्णा यश राखो वचन मन मोरा राम सुधारस गाओ कृष्णा यश राखो वचन मन मोरा जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जयो राधे श्याम जयो राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जयो राधे श्याम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जयो कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय 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 जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Such a beautiful prayer, huh? Very beautiful names of Krishna. Wonderful Krishna, wonderful name. Anybody has heard any song, any lecture or anything? Wants to share?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, start with Kamal, bro.
Today I was hearing lecture of our ISKCON temple today morning Bhagavatam class. It was said that it was from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Kaliya Daman Lila. The speaker was telling that when Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, he was basically he was destroying his ego and pride. So in previous life, that Kaliya was a Mahan, that is saint. Rishi, I do not remember the name. Actually, he has got some envy. Actually, some other Rishi came to his hut and he refused to allow to enter him, and he may get him away. So in turn of that Rishi give him curse that in next life you will become a Kaliya Daman Lila, Kaliya serpent, and you will reside in the banks of Yamuna, that lake. And in turn, that Rishi also gave him curse that you will become Kak Bishundi. So then those both will be delivered by Krishna. So when Krishna came in his Leela of his childhood pastimes, he was playing. He was simply dancing on the hoods and just to destroy his ignorant, his pride and all that. And there it is mentioned that whenever Krishna does this type of Leela, he never hurts anybody. He simply destroys the anarthas of those souls. That's it. So in this way, we should try to understand the Leelas and pastimes of Sri Krishna. Otherwise, if we think that Krishna is killing somebody, Krishna never kills somebody. He always destroys his inner anarthas and all that. So in this way, you have to develop our eyes to look into the 10th cantos of the pastimes of Leela of Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Actually, all the demons killed by Krishna, if we hear the story, one of those anartha goes away. Every human being, they have 24 anarthas. So Krishna has killed 24 demons. So everybody represents something somehow, like Aghasur. Aghasur is Ajgar. Pada hua hai, usne waiting for his own food. That's a symbol of ignorance. So he represents ignorance. त्रिनावत था, त्रिनावत भगवान कृष्ण को त्रिनावत को ऊपर लेके गए. तो हमारी कभी होता है कि हमारी जो फॉल्स ईगो होती है भगवान हमें बहुत ऊपर लेके जाते हैं, और जब हम बहुत ऊपर पहुंच जाते हैं हमें लगता है हम बहुत प्राउड है, तो कृष्ण brings us back और एकदम से मुंह की आगे हमारे को गिराते हैं और हमारा सारा का सारा अभिमान चूर हो जाता है. तो इस तरीके से हम देख सकते हैं कि एवरी पास्ट टाइम ऑफ कृष्णा. तो इफ यू वांट,
हाँ तो स्टिचिंग
in the future we will take some classes on each and every anartha and each and every personality Krishna killed, and by listening to what we can get rid of what anartha. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has mentioned this very beautifully in one of the books. We'll do that. Okay, Abhina, jaldi Anshu Abba, do you want to share something? No.
No, Prabhuji, I didn't hear.
History?
यस प्रभु जी, मेरे को एक पॉइंट शेयर करना है और एक मैं ईगो के ऊपर कुछ सुन रही थी जिसमें रविलोचन प्रभु जी बता रहे थे कि कैसे डिवोटीज आपस में लड़ लेते हैं और फिर मंदिर में कंप्लेंट करते हैं कि प्रभु जी ये मेरी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते, वो मेरी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते, ढंग से बात नहीं करते. तो उस पर्सन की क्या रिस्पेक्ट की जाए जो भगवान को ही धोखा देकर यहाँ पर आया हुआ है. तो मेरे को ये समझना था कि वैसे तो जैव धर्म शायद इस पॉइंट को डिस्कस करेगी कि जीव कैसे उत्पन्न हुआ या जीव का क्या हुआ है. तो मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया कि हम वैकुंठ से आए हैं या ये बहुत सारे जो कंफ्यूज हो गए हैं बहुत सारे लेक्चर सुन के कि कहाँ से आए हैं हम और जीव की उत्पत्ति कैसे होती है और कैसे ये सब होता है, फॉर्मेशन कैसे होती है बेसिकली. तो मुझे आप म्यूट हो.
So you're confused about how we were formed and why, from where we came and all.
Yes,
So that questions and answers will be given. Don't worry. Eventually the answer will be given. ठीक है? Radha Lokomatari, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. Yeah, I was listening to Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj. 4-5 days as Katha is on. So in which he was telling the importance of why we do parikrama of Vrindavan and Govardhan. So he was saying that we of course pay our respects to all the deities and all the acharyas and everyone who are present in Vrindavan. But at the same time, if we have done any offense and हमारा भक्ति में बिल्कुल मन नहीं लग रहा और हमारे अनर्थ हो गए हैं by doing any Vaishnava aparadha or anything, then that is the best way to get rid of your anarthas and your aparadha, to take do parikrama of Vrindavan and Govardhan.
Actually, parikrama also represents that we are keeping the Krishna in the center and going around him.
Yeah.
You know.
Another thing he was saying that why sannyasis and brahmacharis should stay away from Istri Sang. They should totally discard Istri Sang, and Grasth and Vanaprasth, if they cannot stay away from, they have to be somewhere connected to Istri in some other way. So at least attachment should be not there with.
You know, even like Grasta should stay away from females. It's
If
not
there
about
is Istri
even
in
the
their life,
Grastas. Even the Grasta should stay away from Paristri Sangha. Paristri Sangha, मतलब Paristri Sangha is prohibited everywhere, no matter which ashram you're in.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you have if you have Istri, like your mother, your sister, your daughter, your wife,
So you
but you should
associate
not
with
be
them, but
attached
also
to them.
you don't become very intimate with them either.
Yeah, attachment नहीं
Yes.
होना. Because if they will meditate on coming to Vrindavan or any other, so meditation नहीं हो पाएगी उनकी. Meditation, they want to come to Dham, or when they'll meditate, only यही सब आएगा in their mind, in their conscience. They'll only think about Istri.
Yeah.
And it is very strong. We think that we'll overcome all this, but it is not easy to overcome. Istris are pramda. They're like mud.
It's like a fire. No matter how close the butter goes and how strong the butter is, it melts. That is also one of the things, you know.
Yeah. So if we want to be serious, if we are serious about bhakti, then हमको बहुत cautiously चलना चाहिए.
Yeah. When you're serious about bhakti, you become very cautious, especially when you're meeting with a woman, associating with a woman. Very important. Like, you know what? More than anything now, settle level pay we can win over lust. But the gross level pay, even if it is not getting, if you're not able to conquer it, the lust, on the gross level, if you're strong, sorry, on a certain level you're strong, gross level would automatically be achieved. How? Because sometimes the lust, like, you may not be thinking, you may not be doing anything wrong, but in your dream, in your thoughts, or like, some environment and all will create in such a way that, you get some lusty desires. But in your mind, if you're very strong, that any man you're associating with or any woman you're associating with can be the cause of your fall down. You will automatically create a barrier in your mind. Then your way of seeing the woman will automatically get changed. But I remember I had a friend, he's still my friend, when we started practicing Krishna consciousness, almost together, but he was more advanced than me because he was reading more, big scriptures. But then, of course, he did not have association and did not have proper mindset, so he got diverted towards Buddhism. Yeah, eventually. But like, because Buddhists, they are very strong in terms of, stopping their lusty desires and everything. So one time he told me, problem pata kya hai? Ki when the lusty desires are coming in our mind, we are trying to suppress them. When any thought, any sexual thought or any XYZ kind of thought coming in your mind, you face it. हाँ इधर आ, ठीक है, क्या सोच रहा है तू कि अगर मैं इसको भोगूंगा तो क्या होगा? ठीक है, भोग लिया तो क्या होगा? तूने पहले भी तो भोगा ना, अब तू बता अगर इसको भोगेगा तो क्या होगा. कह रहा प्रॉब्लम विद अस इज दैट वी आर नॉट इंट्रोस्पेक्टिव, वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू आवरसेल्व्स, वी आर टॉकिंग टू द होल वर्ल्ड, बट वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू आवरसेल्व्स. अगर लस्टी डिजायर्स आ रहे हैं किसी भी तरीके से माइंड में, किसी भी अलग अलग थॉट से परेशान कर रहा है, टॉक टू योरसेल्फ, टॉक टू दोस डिजायर्स. अरे व्हाई आर यू कमिंग, ओके व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू दैट. ठीक है, अगर मैं तेरे को फुलफिल कर भी देता हूं तो क्या उससे तू मेरे को छोड़ के चला जाएगा, क्या ये हो जाएगा. मतलब यू नो, टॉक टू योरसेल्फ. And then immediately he recommended a movie to me, and when I watched that movie, that was a very that was the erotic movie, of course. It's a 10 years old story. So he mentioned me that you should watch this movie. That movie was about one monk, how he left, he did intense austerities, and he attained some perfection. When he came back from that, attaining that perfect stage, when he started associating with the local women and all, he saw one woman was feeding a child and he got agitated. And just because of that thought, and then, seeing a bangle of a woman, he got agitated, and then he left his monastery and he got married. After getting married, he got so much of, problems in his life, so much of ups and downs, and he was completely gone. He was completely lost. And then one day he left his wife also. And when he was leaving his wife came. कहती कि जब throughout your life, when I was with you from the very first day we got married, whenever you used to go out to make money, whenever you're going for kheti or whatever, I was always keeping your rosary beads, chanting beads for you. If you were not remembering, Lord, how can you blame me for that? That I was the cause of your fall down. Second thing, everybody talks about Siddharth. Everybody talks about Siddharth, but nobody talks about Yashodhara. What happened to Yashodhara? What was the mistake of Yashodhara? So, she asked this question. And then, he cries so much. And then, immediately one of his god brother comes, as god brother, and then he gives him a letter that Gurudev has left the world. And Gurudev has given this letter to you. And in that letter, it was mentioned, I hope by the time you will receive this letter, you must have realized that instead of fulfilling your 1,000 desires, you can be more peaceful and can attain perfection in life by conquering only one. And that one desire is the desire for the opposite sex. So that friend of mine, that movie was very inspiring in that terms. But that movie was not the thing which I wanted to share. I wanted to share that how my friend gave me that trick, that whenever any lusty thoughts are coming in your mind, how you have to face them. And when you start talking to them, then they will go away. Or same cheese. Abhi just recently I've heard from a very amazing sadhu in Braj. He said the same thing. कहता आन दो, कौन आ रहा है, जो आ रहा है आने दो, तुम्हारे अंदर वैष्णव निंदा की भावना जग रही है, आने दो, जैसे ही आए आप उससे बात करो, हाँ भी क्या बात है, अपने थॉट से बात करो, talk to yourself. The problem with us is that we talk to everybody, but we don't talk to ourselves. Let me go to this Prabhuji, let me go to that Prabhuji, let me go to this sannyasi, let me go to that sannyasi. हर बार भागवतम क्लास के बाद कुछ 4-5 लड़के ऐसे होते ही हैं जो हमेशा जाके प्रभु जी के पास ना एक पेन और कॉपी लेके जाते हैं, पता नहीं कौन कौन से क्वेश्चन पूछते रहते हैं. But everybody is not understanding the proper procedure. The proper procedure is to talking to yourself. And this is the most, that's the reason when you're seeing a woman, automatically you will think this woman can be the cause of my fall down. So then automatically your mind will change. Oh, no, she's my sister, or she's my mother, or she's my grandmother. Automatically your mind, when you start feeding those kind of thoughts, positive thoughts to your mind, automatically negative thoughts about anything will stop coming. I've seen that. Otherwise, अगर हम लोग देखें तो मायावादी सन्यासी जो होते हैं, मैं बता रहा था ऐसी स्टोरी की, one सन्यासी he stopped, he refused to sit on a she elephant. ये तो स्त्री है, मैं इसके ऊपर नहीं बैठ सकता. क्या हमारे में इतनी वो है क्या, हम लोग तो कहीं पे भी खा लेते हैं, लेकिन सन्यासी और a brahmachari, especially brahmachari, should never eat cooked by an unmarried woman. कोई भी अनमैरिड वुमेन के हाथ का नहीं खाना चाहिए किसी भी ब्रह्मचारी को। किसी भी ब्रह्मचारी को किसी भी स्त्री संगी के हाथ का नहीं खाना चाहिए। You know, a man who's like, so very lusty and so much of like, desires he has and all. Obviously recently what happened, I'm not criticizing anybody, I'm not saying wrong about anybody, but recently something happened with me. I was in Hyderabad and I had to eat somewhere. When I ate, whole night I had so many weird dreams. Otherwise, every day I was getting up at 2 o'clock and finishing my sadhana by 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then again sleeping because the whole day I have to work. उस दिन मैं 2 बजे उठा हूँ और when I got up, I didn't get up with a very fresh mind. 8 बजे सोने के बाद भी मैं 2 बजे किसी फ्रेश माइंड के साथ नहीं उठा, और जब मैं भजन के लिए बैठा, जब मैं चिंतन के लिए बैठा और जब कर रहा था अपना, तो I was not able to think about anything else but my dreams only. वो ड्रीम्स ने मुझे ऐसे हॉन्ट किया, आई कांट टेल यू। देन लाइक मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया कि मैं क्या करूं, बिकॉज नाउ तो आई हैव टू ईट इन दिस हाउस फॉर नेक्स्ट 4-5 days. दैट वाज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम विद द पर्सन हु हैज कुक्ड। ऑफ कोर्स द एनवायरनमेंट होता है, कभी कभी खाली अन्न दोष नहीं होता, कभी कभी भूमि दोष भी होता है। सो लाइक I couldn't understand. Then I remember, I'm telling you a tip, very important thing I'm giving you. Whenever you're eating any prasadam, or if you think the prasadam the person who has cooked is not very situated in the consciousness, so you can chant this mantra. Rang, 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 rang. Bang, 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 bang. Young, 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 young. And then take some water and say, oh, must try phat. It actually removes all the doshas from the food if you're eating outside. Sometime when I'm eating outside, I chant this prayers. Rang, bang, or young. It actually kills all the doshas from the grains. Okay, na? It starts from here and goes like this. Basically,
how many times, Prabhuji?
10 times.
Each one, each word.
Rang, 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 bang, 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 bang.
Bang B for Bangalore.
Oh, bang. Bang.
Okay.
Or ya yani ki Yamraj. Young. This is very shortcut I'm telling you today, and don't tell anybody because these kind of things are written in Pancharatra and all. And these are the secrets.
वो एक बार उंगली पे कैसा था प्रभु जी, एक बार दोबारा बता दो।
देखो ऐसे 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, इन दोनों को छोड़ देते हैं हम लोग। ठीक है, थर्ड फिंगर से स्टार्ट करते हैं अनामिका से, राइट हैंड की। ठीक है
प्रभु जी, हाँ जी, थैंक यू।
ठीक है, लेट हो जाएंगे हम लोग, क्लास शुरू करते हैं। ठीक है, तो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज वेरी नाइस माता जी पॉइंट यू ब्रॉट। राधा माता जी, कितना अच्छा डिस्कशन हो गया आज, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Babaji, for this tip. I really needed this tip because yesterday I had to go to Sagaratna and my kids were like, after my life, Mama, we have to eat out. So I will have to select a place where there's no non-veg, nothing. And then we have to order specially without anything and all. But ये आपने जो tip बताई है, at least this could save me to some extent, I think.
Actually मैं ना प्राणिक हीलर भी हूँ, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं कभी कभी खाने का दोष खत्म कर देता हूँ। यानी कि सपोज इफ आई एम कुकिंग, जैसे लाइक गोवर्धन पूजा हो गया, कुछ हो गया, कुकिंग हो रही है, तो उसमें कोई भी आगे बाहर के लोग भी कुक काटते हैं सब्जियां। समटाइम पीपल आर नॉट वेरी स्ट्रांग इन भक्ति, सो व्हाट आई डू द हीलिंग, प्राणिक हीलिंग, एंड आई कॉल द एनर्जी and I remove all the dosha from the vegetables which have been cut. And whenever I cook, before cooking, I always chant some prayers to Radha Rani so that my cooking can be like pure. So कोई भी बंदा ये ना कहे कि मेरी कुकिंग खाने मेरा हाथ से खाने के बाद किसी को कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हुई, you know what I mean? So these are very small things but very important. Anyways, 7:37. I thought today we'll have more time, but let's start. Anyavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmarma Abhidam Pule Krishna Shishna Bhakti Uttama. Shraddha Mata Ji ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So you have missed something which I'll send you. And now Sri Vrindavan Vas.
Okay. I will. Sri Vrindavan Vasa, residing in Sri Vrindavana. Sri Vrindavan Dhama is super excellently glorified because it is the eternal abode of the divine and charming pastimes of Swayam Bhagavan, Brajendra Nandana Sri Krishna, who is the embodiment of rasa and the complete personification of majesty and sweetness. Sri Vrindavana is anointed with the sublime pastimes of Mahabhavamayi Srimati Radhika and Rasaraja Sri Krishna. By residing there and performing sadhana and bhajana, sadhakas may easily obtain vision of these transcendental pastimes within their hearts. The resolute determination to reside in Vraja, displayed by the most highly esteemed 6 Goswamis, is without precedent. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has said in his Sri Vrindavana Mahimamrita, Sadhaka 12.78, Sri Vrindavana Mama Pavanam Tvam Yeva, Sri Vrindavana Mama Jivanam Tvam Yeva, Sri Vrindavana Mama Bhushanam Tvam Yeva, Sri Vrindavana Mama Sat Yashas Tvam Yeva. O Vrindavana, you are my purifier. O Vrindavana, you are my life. O Vrindavana, you are my ornament. O Vrindavana, you are my virtuous fame. In Stavavali, Swaniyama Dashakam 2, Srila Raghunath Dasa Goswami has said, Prabhuji,
This
please
is one of
scroll
my most favorite prayers. Swaniyam Dashakam. Suno kya kehte hain.
Nachanyatre Kshetre Haritanu Sanade Api Sujanat Rasaswadam Premna Dadat Api Vasami Shanam Api Samam Tva Etat Gramya Valebhir Apitanvan Api Katam Pitashye Samvasham Raja Bhuvana Eva Pradibhavam. In this verse, Dasa Goswami has with great affection displayed deep faith in Rajadhama. Adopting unflinching resolve for residence in Raja, he says, even if in some other Dhama the Sri Vigraha of Sri Krishna is present and there is an opportunity there to relish with great love the Harikatha flowing from the mouths of elevated devotees, I have no desire to live in such a place even for a moment. But even if I must live in the company of vulgar persons who converse only about mundane topics, I will live in Braja Bhumi life after life. Of
Can
the
you
above
please repeat this
mentioned, the whole paragraph, Prabhuji.
Yeah, in the verse.
In this verse, Dasa Goswami has with great affection displayed deep faith in Rajadhama. Adopting unflinching resolve for residence in Raja, he says, even if in some other Dhama the Sri Vigraha of Sri Krishna is present and there is an opportunity there to relish with great love the Harikatha flowing from the mouths of elevated devotees, I have no desire to live in such a place even for a moment. But even if I must live in the company of vulgar persons who converse only about mundane topics, I will live in Vrajabhumi life after life. Of the above mentioned 64 limbs of bhakti, the last 5 are the most excellent. Even by slight contact with these items performed without offense, bhav bhakti makes its appearance due to their extraordinary power. By obtaining nishtha in the performance either of one or of several of these principal limbs, one is sure to obtain perfection. Text 5, Seva Aparata. Commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Seva nama paradeti, seva nama paradhanam udbhava sadhakasya prayo bhavati eva kindu paschatyatnena tesham abhavakarita. The words Seva, Nama, Aparata, etc. indicate that initially a sadhaka indeed performs Seva Aparatas and Nama Aparatas. Later, however, with effort, they become absent. Sri Bindu Vikasini Vritti. It has previously been stated that one must give up offenses in regard to service. In the Agama Shastra, these Seva Aparatas are said to be of 32 types. First one, to enter the temple wearing sandals. Second, to enter the temple seated on a palanquin. Third, to disrespect or to fail to observe the festivals of one's cherished deity, Ishtadeva. 4, to not offer prostrated obeisances to one's cherished deity, although being present directly before him. 5, to offer prayers to the Lord without washing the hands and mouth after eating. 6, to offer prayers to the Lord in an unclean condition. 7, to offer obeisances with only one hand. 8, to show one's back to the Lord while circumambulating. 9, to spread one's feet in front of the deity. 10, to sit in front of the deity with hands binding one's raised knees. So 7, in circumambulating the Lord, one first passes along the right side of the deity, then behind the back, next along the left side, and finally one comes face to face with the deity again. As one continues circumambulating, one must turn so as to avoid showing one's back to the deity as one passes in front of the Lord. To fail to do so is an offense. 11, to lie down in front of the deity. 12, to eat in front of the deity. 13, to tell lies in front of the deity. 14, to speak loudly before the deity. 15, to converse about mundane subjects before the deity. 16, to shed tears on account of earthly matters before the deity, before the Lord. 17, to show favor to or to reprimand someone before the deity. 18, to speak harshly to others in front of the deity. 19, to wear a coarse blanket in front of the Lord or while serving the deity. 20, to blaspheme others in front of the deity. 21, to praise others before the deity. 22, to use obscene language before the deity. 23, to pass wind before the Lord. 24, to serve the Lord by offering him secondary or minor articles, although competent to offer first-class items, that is at the time of worshipping the deity. If one is competent to offer all the principal paraphernalia of worship, such as flowers, tulsi, incense, lamp, and food offerings, but instead offers only secondary items like water, it is an offense. 25, to eat food items that are not offered to the Lord. 26, to not offer the Lord the fruits and flowers that are in season. 27, to personally enjoy the first portion of anything or present it to someone else and then offer the remainder to the Lord. 28, to sit with one's back to the deity. 29, to offer obeisances or salutation to others in front of the deity. 30, to remain silent in front of one's spiritual master, that is to not to offer prayers and obeisances to him or to remain silent without responding to his questions. 31, to praise oneself, and 32, to slander the demigods. These are the 32 types of seva aparadha. One should strictly avoid them. Other seva aparadhas that have been mentioned in the Varaha Purana are briefly stated here as follows: to eat grains supplied by the king or government, to touch the deity in a house or temple permeated by darkness, to approach the deity without following the scriptural regulations, to open the door of the temple without ringing a bell or making any sound, to collect items that have been left by a dog or other animals, to break one's silence at the time of worshipping the deity, to need to pass stool or urine at the time of worship, to offer incense without first offering scents, and flower garlands, to worship with forbidden flowers, to worship the Lord without cleansing one's teeth or without bathing after sexual intercourse, to worship the deity after touching a woman in menstruation, a dead body, or a lamb. Oh, why, Prabhuji, lamb also?
In the sense, like this a body or a lamb, in the sense, like lamb is not like the lamb. The lamb is like, the lamb which was burnt next to the body, dead body.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, in the dirty area, the lamp we light, na? Sometimes. Say, जैसे वो होता था कि जैसे लालटेन वगैरह होते थे, ये सब होते थे,
Yes. To worship the Lord wearing. Yes, Mataji. Sorry.
प्रभु जी, वो जो ऊपर 30th पॉइंट था, वो भी एक बार आप एक्सप्लेन कर दोगे?
To remain silent in front of the one spiritual master, that is, to not offer prayers and obeisances to him, or to remain silent without responding to his question. It's very simple, ना? कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि लोग अपने spiritual master के सामने चुप रहते हैं, बोले से अगर spiritual master कोई question पूछ रहा है, वो चुप बैठ गए, आंसर नहीं दिया, that is an offense.
और ओबेसेंसेस भी ऑफर नहीं करते क्या आपने?
हाँ, ऐसे प्रभुपाद को हमने देखा, प्रभुपाद के विग्रहों को देख के हम निकल गए, या हमने प्रणाम नहीं किया, अगर प्रणाम नहीं किया तो ये ऑफेंस है। समटाइम वी प्रे, है ना, हमें हमेशा प्रणाम करना चाहिए। फिर हमें वांछा, अगर हम नमो विष्णु पदाया नहीं बोल सकते तो एटलीस्ट वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भवेच्च बोल, अगर वो भी नहीं बोल सकते तो एटलीस्ट वी कैन पे ऑब्सेसेस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। You know what I mean?
Okay.
Prabhuji, you can't offer pranams to anyone inside the temple?
You can offer to Guru and you offer
Okay.
always to Vaishnavas, but
Okay.
it's always good not to offer obeisances to somebody else other than Guru.
Okay. So
Because it doesn't look
hailing
good.
with Hare Krishna is okay, right?
हाँ, saying Hare Krishna is okay, greeting anybody Hare Krishna is okay.
Okay, okay.
लेकिन किसी के पैर छूना ऐसी चीजें in front of the deity is not allowed.
So obeisances, okay, okay.
But obeisances, paying obeisances to Guru, and Guru is okay. Like
Okay.
suppose, for example,
Hmm.
everybody has their own realization, but I'm sharing my realization with you, everybody, today.
Okay.
What I personally do, whenever I go to the temple, suppose I'm paying obeisances to Gauritai deities, so first I will pay obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, of course, where Prabhupada is sitting. Then in the altar, sometimes people, what they do, they start paying obeisances from Guru, which I personally feel is not ethically correct, because if the main deities are there, so we should be paying obeisances to the main deities first. यानी कि नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण नामने गोत्रस्य नमः तो नित्यान नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंद प्रदायते कलो कल्मष नाशाय जानवे पते नमः। यानी गौणिताई हो गए। अब इसमें आप नित्यानंद प्रभु को पहले कर सकते हो प्रणाम मंत्र, क्योंकि नित्यानंद प्रभु एज में बड़े हैं महाप्रभु से, और बलराम जी है तो कर सकते हो आप, कि नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं, अंदर उसके बाद महाप्रभु। फिर पंच तत्वात्मकम कृष्णम भक्त रूप स्वरूपकम भक्तावतारम भक्ताख्यम नमामि भक्ति शक्तिकम। देन उसके बाद नीचे षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, या फिर श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ, इच्छे गोरसाई करे चरण वंदन, यहाँ होते विघ्नाश अविश्य पूर्ण। देन वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु। देन यू कैन चैंट द नेम ऑफ योर गुरु इफ यू वांट, बट आप मतलब गुरु महाराज, परम गुरुदेव, एंड गुरुदेव एटलीस्ट होना चाहिए, But when we are paying obeisances, we always go from the top to down. But when we are worshipping, we always go from down to top. You got the point?
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah.
Very more.
Yes.
But not speaking when the Guru Maharaj is asking a question is also an offense. Okay?
To worship the Lord wearing red or blue clothes, unwashed or dirty clothes, or clothes belonging to another. To worship the deity after seeing a dead body, to pass wind while worshipping the deity. To worship the Lord in anger after visiting a cremation ground or in a state of indigestion, and to touch or worship the deity after taking an oil massage. All of these activities are considered offenses. In other scriptures as well, there are seva aparathas that are worthy of attention. To propagate other scriptures while disregarding those that are related to the Lord. To chew betel in front of the deity. To worship the deity with flowers kept in the leaves of castor plants or other forbidden plants. To perform worship at forbidden times when demoniac influences are prominent. To worship while sitting on a four-legged wooden stool or without any sitting mat. To touch the deity with the left hand at the time of bathing him, to worship with stale flowers or with flowers that have already been asked for by others, to spit at the time of worship, I am a great pujari, to glorify oneself in such terms, to apply tilaka on the forehead in a curved manner, to enter the temple without washing one's feet, to offer food grains to the Lord cooked by a non-Vaishnava, to worship the deity in the presence of a non-Vaishnava. Oh my God. To worship in the presence of a non-Vaishnava, how Prabhuji will
it's
we
like,
be knowing?
when you're giving Krishna consciousness to an unfaithful person, they don't appreciate that. And they end up in offending you, and if your faith is not strong, it can affect your faith also. This is one of the Nam Aparadh. You're not supposed to actually
But in sometimes in the temple sometimes people who don't have faith will also be there. No? So what will happen to?
Normally, whenever you're seeing in the first of all, worship never happen in front of the law, in front of people in Gaudiya Math or in ISKCON or in any sampradaya except Sri Vaishnavas. When Sri Vaishnavas, they are doing Abhishek or any kind of Archanam in front of everybody, You have to understand that Garuda Deva is always watching it. So the worship is actually happening for Garuda and Anjana, Hanuman, right? And Jai Vijay's presence is also there and all like that, no? So in that case, if the non-devotees are even looking at the worship of the Lord, it destroys their mentality of being a non-devotee. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know what happened, like, you know, for example, I have posted one time picture of Narsingh Dev Abhishek. So much of, like, you know, milk, then ghee, and then, you know, yogurt, honey. Everything was so nicely, you know, and photographs were so clear and so nice. And everybody was appreciating Jai Narsingh Dev, Jai. And, like, you know, Tejapur Swami, you know, that the Swami who left the world recently, last year, Tejapur Mutt, huh? He was a Madhava Vaishnava, sannyasi. I'm forgetting his name. He said, now, after seeing the Abhishek of that Narsingh Dev, he said, na bhuto, na bhavishyati. I've never seen such a Abhishek in my life, and I don't think so anybody can perform Abhishek of Narsingh Dev like that. But on another hand, मेरा जीजा अमेरिका में बैठा हुआ मैसेज डालता है कि you know, you should have distributed so much of milk and all these things to poor people. मैंने, then, you know, I went to his profile. I brought the picture of, you know, he's holding a daru bottle, Johnny Walker in his hand, and I posted on his, you know, replying on comment, you should have actually just fed so many poor people instead of spending money on such a liquor. Since then till now, it's been 3 years, 4 years, he has never replied or never, you know, liked any of my comment. But what I'm trying to tell you here is very simple thing, that when you are worshipping in front of the non-devotee, sometimes they cannot appreciate your bhav. And if they're not appreciating your bhav, they end up in committing offenses mentally, sometimes with your words also, and that can shake your faith also.
Faith.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. To enter the temple without washing one's feet, to offer food grains to the Lord cooked by a non-Vaishnava, to worship the deity in the presence of a non-Vaishnava, to worship the deity after seeing a Kapalika without first offering worship to Lord Sri Narasimhadeva. A Kapalika is a follower of a particular Shaiva sect of ascetics who carry human skulls and use them as receptacles for their food. Okay. To bathe the Lord with water touched with the fingernails, to worship when the body is covered with perspiration, to step over the offerings to the Lord, and to take a vow in the name of the Lord. Besides these, many other seva aparatas have been mentioned in the scriptures. Text 6. The severity of Nama aparata. Sarva aparada kritapi. Okay. Muchyate hari samshraya harerapi aparadanya kuryad vipada pamshula. Namashraya kadachit syat tharati eva sa namataha namno api sarva suhrudo hi aparadhat pathati adhaha. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.119 to 120. Shri Bindu Vikasini Vritti. Sadhaka should remain thoroughly attentive to avoid committing all the offenses mentioned in the previous section. Even that person who has committed all varieties of offenses to others is freed from them by taking shelter of Sri Hari, and regarding that wicked person among two-legged beings who has committed offenses even to Sri Hari, if at some time he takes shelter of Sri Nama, the holy name, then by the power of Sri Nama he crosses the ocean of material existence. If, however, he offends Sri Nama, the friend of all, his fall down is inevitable. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.119. Text 7. Nama Aparata. Shri Bindu Vikasini Vritti. 10 kinds of Nama Aparata will now be described in connection with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. First one, to commit offenses against the Vaishnavas by slandering them and so on. Nindadi. The word Adi here refers to the 6 kinds of Vaishnava Aparata indicated in the following verse from the Skanda Purana quoted in Bhakti Sandarbha, Anucheda 265. Handi Nindadi Vaidveshti Vaishnava Nabhinandati Krutyade Yati no harsham, yati no harsham, darshane patanani sat. To beat Vaishnavas, to slander them, to bear malice against them, to fail to welcome them, to become angry with them, and to not feel happiness upon seeing them. By these 6 types of Vaishnava aparadha, one falls down to a degraded position. 2, to consider Lord Shiva to be the Supreme Lord, separate and independent from Lord Vishnu. 3, to consider Sri Gurudeva to be an ordinary human being. 4, to slander the Vedas, Puranas, and other scriptures. 5, to consider the praises of Sri Harinama to be imaginary. In other words, to consider that the potencies that have been praised in the scriptures in reference to Harinama are not actually present in the holy name. 6, to give an unauthorized and misleading explanation of Sri Harinama. In other words, to abandon the established and reputed meaning of the scriptures and foolishly concoct some futile explanation. For example, someone may argue that the Lord is incorporeal, nirakara, formless, arupa, and nameless, anama, and that therefore his name is also imaginary. 7, to engage in sinful activities again and again, knowing that there is such power in the holy name that simply by uttering Sri Harinama, all sins are vanquished. 8, to consider all kinds of religious or pious activities to be equal to Sri Harinama. 9, to instruct faithless persons about Sri Harinama. 10, to not have love for the name in spite of hearing the glories of Sri Nama. Prabhuji, 9th one, to instruct faithless persons, then how it will spread, Prabhuji?
Well,
We
you know,
also will be
faithless
doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, everything starts from faith. So, like, when you are giving it to the faithless person, see, faithless person are those people who actually brings your faith down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
you have to understand it is a very nice desire that you want to grow a tree. But before that, you have to cultivate the land. Little bit, right? You have to dig a little small hole, you have to go a little more deeper inside, because so that the tree, if you will plant a tree, then it would always be protected. Its roots will go more deeper and more down inside. So you have to see if somebody, like, suppose if any Hizbul Mujahideen or such kind of terrorist comes, and if you're trying to tell Krishna consciousness to that person would never understand that, and that is called the faithless person. You know what I mean?
So is it in terms of energy, Prabhuji? Because like when we give that spiritual energy to them, without getting into that state of what do you say, Sthita Prajna?
It's always mentioned in scripture, Janam Sarthak Kari Kar Parupkar. First we have to actually make our life successful, then only we can preach.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we know what happened. 2-3 ways it works. First of all, when your faith is strong, then your faith and conviction will reflect in your action and in your words, right? Second thing, when you are a very nice devotee, you create an aura around you. So anybody who comes in that aura automatically become positive. Even if they don't have faith, they will become positive. Like, first time when I went to a South Indian temple, Rajarajeshwari Devi temple, I remember I was in 9th grade, and there I got served this paisama, gud ke chawal, and like it was so difficult for me to have that, because I'm not from South Indian background, and for me, like, something cooked which is very strange in taste. It has camphor, it has some
coconut
also, some coconut also. So, like, it was too strange for me. But I very faithfully accepted that, honored a little bit, and then I gave it to the friend of mine. But my faith in Rajeshwari temple was there, although I went for the first time that day. But my faith was there. So, like, so the faithless person is like the person, I don't want to go inside. As a devotee, first you develop conviction in your words, in your actions, and then you create an aura. So if somebody comes under that, automatically the cultivation starts. So that particular faithful person is different. They can be atheist, but they're not faithless. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Faithless is a very deep word. It's like that person who's envious of the Lord. Faithless is those people who are envious of God. Okay?
There should be a reciprocation channel. Otherwise, there is No point in
Some
going
faith
and
has to be
telling.
there. Some faith has to be
Okay.
there. Otherwise, you will end up
Okay.
in wasting your time.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Some faith
Got
has
it.
to be there. Or otherwise, just give him Krishna Mahaprasad. कि चल तू खा ले यार, वो प्रसाद खा के ठीक हो जाए.
Okay. Okay.
To not have love.
To not have love for the name in spite of hearing the glories of Sri Nama. That is there for everyone, Prabhuji. Unless otherwise not in Vrindavan, it's really difficult, no, Prabhuji. So,
Of course, it's for everybody. Anyways,
so
these
this
10
is an
offenses.
offense. Yeah, these 10 offenses must certainly be avoided. In the practice of Hari Bhajana, one should first of all be very attentive to avoid all seva aparathas and nama aparathas. One should know these aparathas to be severe obstacles on the path of bhajana and vigorously endeavor to give them up. Without giving up these offenses, there can be no question of advancement in bhajana. Rather, the sadhakas fall down is assured. The sadhaka should also be vigilant to not commit any seva aparathas in the matter of worship of the deity. Seva aparathas that are committed unknowingly in the course of serving the deity are mitigated by wholehearted surrender to Sri Hari, by offering prayers to him, and in particular by taking shelter of Sri Hari Nama. The holy name mercifully forgives all of one's seva aparathas. Sri Hari Nama is even more merciful than the deity. Hari Bol. But if in spite of taking shelter of Sri Hari Nama, one is inattentive again in the matter of nama aparadha, then his fall down is assured. Vaidhi Bhakti. Atha Vaidhi Lakshanam Shravana Kirtanadi Shastra Shasanabhayena Yadi Kriyante Tata Vaidhi Bhakti. Now the symptoms of Vaidhi Bhakti are described. If the limbs of Bhakti such as Shravana and Kirtana are performed out of fear of scriptural discipline, it is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Shri Bindu Vikasini Vritti. Bhakti is of two kinds, Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. The limbs of sadhana that are performed on the parts of both these types of Bhakti are generally considered to be one and the same. Nonetheless, there is a specific distinction between them. In some devotees, intense longing or greed, lobha, is the cause of their engagement in Bhakti, whereas in others, the discipline of the scriptures in the cause of their engagement in Bhakti. Yatra raganavaptvat pravrittir upajayate. Shasaneva Shastrasya Sa Vaidhi Bhakti Ruchyate. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.6. Sadhana Bhakti that is not inspired by intense longing but is instigated instead by the discipline of the scriptures is called Vaidhi Bhakti. One should understand what is meant by the discipline of the scriptures. In all scriptures, of which Srimad Bhagavatam is the foremost, devotion to Bhagavan is said to be the supreme duty for the jivas. If a person fulfills all his worldly obligations but does not engage in Hari Bhajana, he descends to a dreadful hell. Ya yesham purusham sakshat atma prabhavam ishwaram na bhajanti avajananti sthanad drashta patanti ataha. Srimad Bhagavatam. The original Supreme Lord is himself the creator of the four varnas and four ashramas. He is the Lord, the controller and the soul of them all. Therefore, if everyone belonging to the four varnas and ashramas fails to worship the Lord and disrespects him instead, he is deprived of his position, his varna and ashrama, and falls down to hell. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 22.26, Srila Kaviraja Goswami has described the substance of the shloka in the verse given below. Chari varnashrami yadi Krishna nahi bhaje swakarma karite se raurave padi maje. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras may perfectly carry out their Varna Dharma. The Brahmacharis, Grihasthas, Vanaprasthas and Sannyasis may thoroughly execute their Ashrama Dharma. If, however, they do not worship Sri Krishna, then although they may obtain elevation due to material prestige, their piety will wane and they will most certainly fall down to the hell known as Raurava. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.32, Devarshinatha has said, Tasmat kenapi upayena mana krishne nivaseyat. The basic and primary aim of all types of sadhana is to fix the mind on Krishna by whatever method is effective. This is also stated in Padma Purana स्मार्तव्य सततं विष्णुर विस्मार्तव्यो न जादूचित सर्वे विधि निषेधास्युर एतयोर एव किंकरः. That which has been ascertained in the scriptures to be duty for the jivas is called vidhi, regulation, and that which has been forbidden is called nisheda, prohibition. Vaidha dharma for the jivas or religion enacted in accordance with scriptural regulations involves observing rules and prohibitions. One should remember Lord Vishnu at all times. This is the basis of all positive injunctions, vidhi. All the regulations of varna and ashrama are attendants of this primary injunction. Never forget the Lord at any time. This is the basis of all prohibitory injunctions, nisheda. All the prohibitory injunctions, such as the avoidance of sins, abandonment of apathy towards the Lord, and atonement of sins, are attendants of this primary prohibition. To observe these rules and prohibitions is to accept the discipline and direction of the scriptures. When the jivas engage in bhakti out of fear of violating the directions of the scriptures, it is called Vaidhi Bhakti. By taking darshana of the deity of the Lord and by hearing the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes in childhood, boyhood, and youth, as described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, intense longing, lobha, arises for the practice of bhajana. When intense longing has not arisen, in other words, when lobha is not the cause of one's engagement in bhakti and the discipline of the scriptures alone is the cause for such engagement, it is called Vaidhi Bhakti.
Very simple. हाँ, लोभ
Yes.
जनरेट होना चाहिए. अगर लोभ नहीं हुआ है तो इसका मतलब that is called वैधि भक्ति. Anyways, we'll stop here now today.
Yes.
You know, can we do regular classes for this week, if you won't mind?
Yes.
Yes,
Huh?
Yes,
Means to
Guruji.
see today is Wednesday. Let's do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Thursday और Friday दो दिन और कर लेते हैं क्लास. Saturday से हम मन शिक्षा शुरू कर देते हैं.
Prabhuji, Saturday I'm traveling back to Bangalore, so I may not be able to attend.
Because मन शिक्षा 2 hours class we were thinking on taking on Sunday. So instead of
Okay.
Sunday, let's take it on Saturday. So Madhava's called and they want me to come to their place, and anyways, we'll talk about that later. So what questions do you have? Do you have any questions?
प्रभुजी,
Yeah, tell me, bro.
वो पैराग्राफ समझ में नहीं आया प्रभुजी, जो मैंने आपको सेंड किया था, वो जो बोल रहे थे ना, क्या नाम, धाम में वास, वो थोड़ा सा क्लियर कर देंगे. वो शुरू के एक पैराग्राफ था जो माता जी ने रिपीट करके पढ़ा था, वो वाला.
हाँ, श्री वृंदावन धाम वास्तु.
यस.
तो वो उसमें कह रहे हैं ना कि नाचन्त्यत्र क्षेत्रे हरितनुस्थाने अपि सर्जनादात् रसास्वादं प्रेम्णा ददद अपि वसामीक्षं क्षणमपि समं त्वा एतद् ग्राम्या वालीभिर अधितन्वन्नपि कंठां विधास्ये संवासं व्रजभुवन एव प्रातिभवाम्. मतलब दादू स्वामी कह रहे हैं, even if some other धाम, यानी कि द्वारका धाम या मथुरा धाम, the Shri Vigraha of Shri Krishna is present and there is an opportunity there to relish with great love the Hari Katha flowing from the mouth of an elevated Vaishnava or elevated devotees. I have no desire to live in such a place, even for a moment. But I would rather live in Braj and do the Prajalpa with the local Brajvasi. समझ में आया?
नहीं गुरुजी, आप समझा दीजिए. नो.
नहीं समझ में आएगा अभी. उसके लिए वृंदावन से बहुत प्रेम होना जरूरी है.
तो ये वृंदावन का बात कर रहे हैं या ओनली होली प्लेसेस का बात कर रहे हैं? मतलब मैं तो उसमें
ओनली वृंदावन स्वनियम दशकम है ये. उन्होंने मतलब वो है कि मैंने जो उन्होंने अपने लिए नियम बना रखे थे, समझ रहे हो?
ओके प्रभु जी.
हाँ, दास गोस्वामी पाद ने एक किताब लिखी है स्वनियम दशकम, जिसमें 10 इवेंट बताता हूँ. Swa Niyam Dashakam. I used to recite this every day. It's a very nice prayer. Shri Swa Niyam Dashakam. You see, Gira. यार तुम लोग ना सारे पत्ते अभी खुलवा दो यार. गुरु मंत्रे नामी भुवर सचिगर्भ जलपदे स्वरूपे श्री रूपे गणयुजित दिया प्रार्थमजे गिरिद्रे गंधर्व शरसी मधुपुर्यम व्रजवने भजे भक्ते गोष्ठायीषु परमष्टम ममरति. तो नाचन्यत्रे जो हमने अभी पढ़ा, तो पहला आई वाव, ये 10 वाव लिए उन्होंने जो हर रोज पढ़ते थे वो. तो 10 वाव है. उन्होंने पहला वाव कह रहे हैं, I shall love my spiritual master, the Gayatri mantra, the holy name of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, Shri Sarup Damodar Goswami, Shri Rup Goswami, his associates, his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, Govardhan Hill, Radha Kund, Mathura city, Vrindavan forest, the land of Braja, the devotee of Krishna, and the residents of Braj. फिर कह रहे हैं कि I vow that I shall live in the land of Braj, birth after birth, chatting casually with the villagers. I shall not live even for a moment in any other place, even if the Lord resides there in his deity form, and even if the great devotees fill it with the sweet nectar of transcendental love. Even though I suffer in a long separation from the divine couple, I shall not even for a moment leave the land of Braj. You क्या कह रहे हैं? Even though I suffer in long separation from the divine couple, I will not leave this land of Braj, where Sri Radha Krishnas eternally enjoy unparalleled transcendental pastimes. And I shall not, even if he himself invites me, go to see the opulent kind king of the Yadu of Dwarka. If with my own ears I heard Radha has gone to Dwarka, where Lord Hari passionately embraces her to his chest with an excited heart, I would leave Rajpura and fly there faster than Garuda. Got it?
अभी आ गया समझ में. अभी आ गया. हाँ अभी आ गया.
पढ़ी नहीं है तो पढ़ लेते हैं सब कुछ. The beginningless or with the beginning, cruel or with gentle, merciful at every moment or merciless, greater than the king of Mahavakunta or an ordinary human being, the son of Braja's king is my Lord, birth after birth. Not for a moment shall I go near a hypocrite who worship only Lord Govinda, does not worship exalted Srimati Radharani, who is glorified by the Vedas, and great sages headed by the Narada, who is most dear to Lord Krishna. This is my vow. I shall wash the lotus feet of anyone in this world who bow down with love, worship Lord Krishna, and the nectar person who bears the name Radha. I drink that water, and every day I carry that water on my head. Abandoned by my dear friends, unintelligent, blind, and drowning in the ocean of pain, I bite a blade of straw with my teeth and beg, O Radharani, please lead me to your lotus feet. 8th verse, very important verse. ठीक है? कि तृणम दंतेर दस्य चतुर्भीर अभियाचे द्व कृपया स्वयं श्री गंधर्व स्वपद नलिनंतम नयतु माम. ठीक है? 9th, my food a little of Braj milk, my home a leaf hut, and my action honest austerity and scripture study. I shall live at Radhakund by the best of the mountains, and I shall die at that dear lake in the company of Srila Jiva Goswami and the other devotees. In a secluded place in Vrindavan forest, following my dear friend Srila Rupa Goswami, in many ways, I shall earnestly worship Sri Krishna, who is more splendid than many cupids, and Srimati Radharani, who is glorious beauty defeats many goddesses of fortune. A faithful devotee who reads these 10 vows of a certain order and who fixes his mind on the transcendental form of the dear divine couple at the proper time happily attain the realm of Braj and directly worship Sri Radha Krishna. Answer मिल गया भाई?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Any other question anybody has?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have a question.
बोलो.
प्रभु जी मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है अपराध के रिगार्डिंग कि जैसे कभी कभी क्या होता है कि किसी पर्टिकुलर एटिकेट का हमें पता नहीं होता या किसी पर्टिकुलर ऑफेंस का हमें पता नहीं होता, अननोइंगली कभी कभी हमसे ऑफेंस हो रहे होते हैं, लेकिन वो हमें बाद में पता लगता है कि जब हम लेक्चर सुनते हैं या हम कोई बुक रीड करते हैं। लेकिन अभी बहुत लंबी जर्नी है, सारी चीज़ें हमें नहीं पता होंगी और बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं, तो वो कैसे कैसे अवॉइड हो सकता है, क्योंकि कभी कभी हमारी भक्ति भी रुक सकती है इस चीज से। तो
जब तुम लोगों ने डीटी वर्षी का कोर्स किया था ना, जितने भी लोगों ने डीटी वर्षी का कोर्स किया था, मैंने एक मंत्र बताया था।
यस प्रभु जी।
ओम मंत्रहीनम क्रियाहीनम भक्तिहीनम जनार्दन यत् पूजितम मया देव परिपूर्णम दस्तु में अपराध सहस्त्राणि क्रियन्ते निशम्मया दासोहमिति माम मत्वा शमसमत सुदरा। एंड देन भगवान को बुलाना है, इनको याद दिलाना है। प्रतिज्ञा तब गोविंद, तुमने प्रतिज्ञा कर दी गोविंद, नाम है भक्त पृच्छति, मेरे भक्त का नाश नहीं होता। इस सहस्रुत्या ही सोच सोच के I perform my devotional services. Chant these prayers every day before going back to sleep. And whatever offenses you have committed, Krishna will nullify them. And eventually, when you get to know about more rules and regulations and more this thing, when you get to know about them, then automatically everything will fall in place. Tell me.
Okay, I thought it is only in concern with the deity worship. I thought it was a deity worship.
No, that is for everything.
Okay.
मंत्रहीनम क्रियाहीनम भक्तिहीनम जनार्दन। अब यद पूजितम का मतलब यही नहीं होता कि भगवान की पूजा ही हो रही है यार, चैंटिंग में तो पूजा यही तरीके का, राइट? मन से भी तो आप भगवान की सेवा ही तो कर रहे हो। What is पूजन? पूजन means service to the Lord, right? है ना?
Okay.
That can be chant.
प्रभु जी एक क्वेश्चन और था, जैसे बिफोर कमिंग इनटू कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस आई वाज रिसाइटिंग गायत्री मंत्र डेली 3 times a day, क्योंकि मुझे किसी ने रिकमेंड किया था, थोड़ा फोकस में मेरी कमी थी, तो इस वजह से आई यूज्ड टू चैंटेड एंड उसका बहुत पावर था। लेकिन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में आने के बाद मेरे को पता चला जब तक गुरु नहीं देते गायत्री, आप गायत्री कर नहीं सकते हो। तो
Actually, female should not be chanting Gayatri. Although in Prabhupada's time, like the Matajis they rebelled here, why the Prabhujis they have an extra mantra. So Prabhupada gave Brahma Gayatri to some Matajis, and that's how it started. But yeah, of course, you are born in a Brahmin family, so definitely in Brahmin family, among Brahmin families also they don't give this Om Bhurvasva mantra to females. But if you think that chanting that Om Bhurvasva was helping you being more focused in chant, no problem.
Yes, Prabhuji, it helped me a lot. Like I could feel it. I could feel the power. Yeah.
See, anything which is helping you to grow in bhakti, whatever is helping you to grow in bhakti, do it. ठीक है ना? उसके लिए कुछ भी करना हो.
Okay. I thought मुझसे ऑफेंस हो गया, वो बहुत टाइम तक करा है मैंने, मतलब 8-10 साल करा है मैंने गायत्री में, और बहुत अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस भी रही है उस पीरियड में मेरे लाइफ में.
Do it again, no problem. Any other question? सबको सब पता है? ये क्वेश्चन
ये कपल का वाला जो to worship the deity in the presence of non-Vaishnava. To worship the deity after seeing the Kapalika without first offering worship to the Lord Narasimha.
एक बार देख कपलिका का मतलब क्या दिया हुआ नीचे.
Kapalika is the follower of a particular set of ascetic who carry human skulls and use them as
यानी कि अघोरी साधु जो होते हैं ना, कपलिका इज अ फॉलोअर ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर शैवा सेक्ट ऑफ एसेटिक्स. यानी कि ऐसे होते हैं जो कि अपने गले में मुर्दा लोगों के स्कल्स लाके घूमते हैं. ठीक है. So then this is very important for all of us to understand that the Ghori sadhus and all, they are in mode of ignorance, and their association या their darshan is actually very dangerous for us. कहते हैं ना, दर्शन ने पवित्रा करो, यही तुम्हारे गुण. So when we see a Vaishnava, so we get purified. So the same way when we see a non-Vaishnava, then sometimes it also destroys our bhakti. One time there was one sadhu. He was doing Vrindavan Govardhan Parikrama. He used to do Govardhan Parikrama at 1 o'clock in the night. ये कुछ अभी रिसेंट की बात है, थोड़े टाइम पहले की, 20-25 साल पहले की बात. तो क्या वो परिक्रमा करते थे in the middle of the night. One day he got late, and around 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock the sun came up, and when he was doing parikrama, immediately the thought came in his mind, I should open a big ashram here so that sadhus can come, can eat, can take rest when they get tired during the parikrama. And like the moment the thought came, he started thinking whom to ask for money, this and that, and immediately he started walking very fast. कि हुआ क्या मुझे? Why such thoughts are coming in my mind? And then when he was walking fast, he turned back and he saw कि एक सेठ चलता हुआ आ रहा था. यानी कि when he came in the aura of that particular Seth, immediately he started thinking of doing welfare to the society. Started thinking about doing philanthropic activities, then performing his bhajan. So, भक्ति के मार्ग में बहुत सारे obstacles होते हैं, वो किसी भी रूप में आ सकते हैं. तो be very careful. ठीक है? Okay?
तो जिसमें कहा गया है कि पहले नरसिंहदेव की करनी है, then उसके बाद
मतलब in the sense कि it's very simply mentioned that कि मतलब we have to, अगर किसी कुत्ते ने भी कुछ खाने को देख लिया, उसको भगवान को ऑफर नहीं करना. और अगर हमने ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को देख लिया है, ठीक है ना, तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए कि विदाउट फर्स्ट ऑफरिंग वर्शिप टू द लॉर्ड नरसिंहदेव. यानी कि अगर हमने ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को देख लिया, तो पहले नरसिंहदेव को वर्शिप करना चाहिए, नरसिंहदेव से प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए, प्लीज प्रोटेक्ट मी फ्रॉम सच अ हॉरिफाइड साइट. ठीक है. So whatever discussion we had, whatever we have discussed, we pray to Radha Shyam Sundar Krishna Balaram Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, Gurudev, and Anantakoti Vaishnavin to give us the blessing so that we can imbibe all these things in our heart, in our life, and can be situated in our Swarup as a servant of Radharani, and can worship the Lord eternally to attain the goal of life, the goals of life. One is Krishna Prema, and second is Radha Dasya. Vanchakalpatrubhesha Patitanam
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
कल हम मिलेंगे 6:45. ठीक है.
ओके प्रभु जी. ओके प्रभु
Today's
जी.
will meet 6:45 so that we can read more and we can so that 19 chapters दोनों की हो जाएंगे ना, so then we can start both the books together simultaneously. मजा आएगा.
ओके प्रभु जी.
ठीक है. हरे
ओके.
कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण.